G'day viewers, Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel. Here I am at the Wings Over The Illawarra 2022 Air Show with my vintage National Panasonic NV-M3 newvicon tube colour VHS camcorder from the mid-80s. Now I thought I'd bring this camera along and film the air display. I thought I'd do a bit of an intro video first. I've got two small batteries which will probably give me about an hour and a half total of record time, so I'll make this intro short and quick. Now I'm just right in the thick of the static display. Over there we've got some helicopters, got the Douglas DC-4 plane over there, nicely restored. And over in the distance we've got the only flying Lockheed Super Constellation in the world. And it's going to be putting on an air display today, which is awesome. Totally looking forward to that. It's been a few years since I've seen that plane flying. And we've got some Neptunes over there. Got some C-47 Dakota over there. Got the nicely restored Southern Cross replica over there. I forget what that plane's called, but that's a recently restored aircraft at Haas. Got the nice shiny Douglas DC-3 over there. Over on the other side we've got some army vehicles, some lightweight aircraft over there. Alrighty, it's time for me to stop this video now and conserve some battery power for the air display. Alright, enjoy the show, whatever footage I get of the air display. Okay viewers, my battery just died just after I made the intro video. Yeah, I'm actually pretty disappointed by that because I now only got about 45 minutes of record time, so I'm going to have to really pick and choose my aircraft. Bummer. I thought I'd charge that battery up. Well, maybe it was a new battery, but needed to be pre-charged, I don't know. Bugger. Anyway, I'm going to conserve this battery and hopefully I'll get a decent amount of footage of the best planes in the sky. Enjoy the air show.
And luckily enough, found myself with a job as a pilot. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from the front now, fantastic photo opportunity for the roulette slide and brake.
Now that is very spectacular.
You'll notice now that roulettes 5 and 6 have broken away as the synchro pair, and as they come together head to head, they'll have over 1,000 kilometres an hour of closure into the roulette wheel.
Nate, are you able to tell us a little bit about this manoeuvre?
Yeah, so the roulette wheel, it's kind of how the roulettes got their name actually, so it's based on the famous gambling table, and you can see the two aircraft there crossing path low level with a lot of closure. The team members flying this today is Flight Lieutenant Dan Barclay as roulette 5 and Flight Lieutenant Ben Hepworth, roulette 6. If you start at the very basics pilots course, you do basic flight training, which is about 6 months, and then from there you go to advanced flight training, which is 9 months over in Western Australia. So about 15 months to learn how to fly the aircraft for an ab initio pilot. However, someone coming back that has previously flown the aircraft, they could get it done in about 4 or 5 weeks. And that's pretty much all aspects. That's navigation, formation, instrument flying, and just general flying and aerobatics.
Now all of these guys are instructors.
Correct, yeah, so all the guys you see flying today are instructors. instructors at Central Flying School down at RAP Base East Sale. So whilst they're not performing roulette shows on the weekend or during the week, they'll actually be teaching the next generation of Air Force instructors. So the guys and girls that have come through as pilots, and then they're going to transition onto instructors. Today's Flight Lieutenant Dan Barclay. He's going to demonstrate the full characteristics of the PC-21 now with the max rate turn.
I have to say those G-suits of today have come a very long way from the first trial, which was a pair of waist-high waders filled with water.
Yeah, wow. They're very advanced now, that's for sure. On the parts chair, that's the same sort of G-suit that you're going to be wearing if you step into an F-35.
Always amazes me why the Blue Angels don't wear them. Amazes me why the Blue Angels don't wear them when they do their performance.
Yeah. They claim it gets in the way of the stick, and besides fly Navy. But that's the Americans.
Spoke about before, this will be one of the most dynamic manoeuvres of the show. If you look at
when it eventually launches and lands in the ocean, the first one.
Now, and I believe back in the 1950s, an RAF with the British climbed to over 70,000 feet and took out a number of records.
This particular aircraft is actually a British-built aircraft, and like all good things British in aviation, it has to have some wood in it. Believe it or not, the vertical fin is actually made out of wood on this particular machine. It was built in the UK, and it served with number 100 Squadron over there, which is rather ironic because it is currently flying with number 100 Squadron RAAF. Now, 100 Squadron was formed as an historic squadron, this machine, to the Air Force, and also the magnificent collection down there of the RAAF Museum at Point Cook. They have some flying aircraft here. Some of those are represented here this weekend. That's
the aircraft that
engined aircraft that Qantas ever operated. Every stop where they used to offload or upload passengers across the Pacific, and on their way to the UK, they would have a big stock of these engines. Because these engines were the same ones that were used in the B-29 during the Second World War. In the Second World War, these aircraft were utilised as transports, called the C-69, C for cargo.
Yep, and those were very finicky engines. Had to really look after them. So hats off to Haas for keeping this aircraft flying. And I imagine that's got some very similar stories about the engines to the guys keeping the B-29s flying in the US.
Now, this aircraft was actually built as a C-121, again for the US Air Force. Look at that magnificent aircraft. It was delivered in 1955 to the Military Air Transport Service, and incredibly, the aircraft behind it on the production line is actually flying in Europe at the present time.
Yeah, that one, it's amazing. It's sister with Breitling and so on. But the reason this aircraft's still here and didn't wind up going to the wreckers is because at one point they left a cockpit window open and it got filled with birds and the resulting remnants of birds.
And the scrappies didn't want it because it would contaminate the aluminium.
Correct.
But the work that's been done on this machine is incredible to keep it flying for all of this time. The sponsorship that was raised by Haas, the Historical Aircraft Restoration Society, based down here at this beautiful Shell Harbour Airport. If you have a look at the aircraft that are on that taxiway down there now, they are all Haas aircraft, as well as this P3 Orion that's sitting out the front. They're all operated by Haas. Haas tend to basically look after the very, very heavy end of aircraft flying here in Australia. Again, ladies and gentlemen, look at that beautiful shape. Well, I've just been informed that the one that sat behind it on the production line is not now flying.
Yeah, very sad. Apparently the Breitling group decided it was just too hard to keep it going with maintenance, so it was unfortunately retired, but there may be others restored, including the Lufthansa Museum apparently is working on one, and they're also working on the original Air Force One.
They're coming in from your right.
It's 2 in the morning, but every time you hear them flying, you know they're rescuing someone.
Yes, it's a possibility that we will have the show interrupted today because Toll does operate from here. The Haas twins.
Interesting design. When you look at the cowlings of the engines for the Caribou, quite different style to the Tracker. The Tracker comes back, I believe they launched sonobuoys out of it.
Air-to-ground rockets if it didn't carry the bombs, and it also had the drop tanks. Those drop tanks were a bit of an Achilles heel because the Germans realised they needed them to get to Berlin, so they would pretend to attack. The Americans would drop the drop tanks, then the Germans would scatter, and they no longer had the range to escort all the way in. These machines had a magnificent range. They had a fuel tank, and they would fly with the bombers to Japan, then attack targets on the ground, and then return. This aircraft was painted in markings of number 77 Squadron out of land, Squadron leader Schaff. And this machine was operated as part of the British Commonwealth Occupation Forces post-World War II in Japan. Now, Endo, I noticed there's a weird pass just below the cockpit on the bottom of the aircraft. There was a vent. That's called forces of 45, you'll do a full roll right, followed by 1.5 flip rolls to the left. Stumping in vertical, pulse burn attempt, a full forward flip, and the press throw. Now pushing forward on the stick, forwards actually experiencing up to 6 times the force of negative G. Tries to throw the cockpit, fully vertical. Finishing the shoulder roll, he's going to point the pins perfectly vertical. At the top of the vertical, he's going to put in hard left rudder and turn around not once, but twice. Was custom built and weighs in about 600 kilograms. However, powered by a 400 horsepower engine, making it without doubt one of the highest performing aerobatic biplanes today. As Paul pulls vertically, do the point rolls on the vertical up at the top of the vertical. Paul's going to do one of the world's smallest inside loops. He's going to turn the aircraft into a helicopter. It's about this time we'll actually see if we can go to Paul in the cockpit.
82 wing with 10 and 11 screws. Neptune's before, and also the maritime version of the Lincoln that was specifically produced here in Australia.
Was that the Shackleton?
The Lincoln, the one that we built with the normal short nose, and then we built Mark 31 with a very much extended nose for the long range.
That was it. Looking great as it paints around with the escarpment in the background. Colours slightly changing as it goes under the clouds. Getting the sun at different angles. Always a beautiful looking aircraft for this one for me. And the guys said that what we should see here is that they're going to have the bomb bay doors open, so we'll see if I'm right on this one. And if they do, this is where they carry torpedoes and air sea rescue kits, as Ando was saying.
You want it.
This aircraft actually did some service, active operational service, not just staging around submarines.
Okay viewers, that's the end of the air show. Hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, it's quite a good day today. I had to conservatively film some of the air displays, not all of them, in order to save the battery power for the final air display, which was the F-35. Anyway, glad I still had some battery juice left to film it. Anyway, everybody's heading off there, as you can see, and yeah, got a few planes lined up there: the Hercules, the Connie, and the DC-4. Anyhow, that concludes this video. This is day one of Wings Over the Illawarra Air Show. This is Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel, signing out.